G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires. Not just any casted game, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first casted game of 2025. Congratulations to all of you guys who made it. GTA 6 still isn't out yet, so you've still got a couple months to go before we can say, I guess we can really congratulate you. But anyway, let's get to it. And I guess welcome, because we've got an absolutely amazing game for you today. I'm confident because these are two of the world's best players. If you haven't recognized the first guy already, well, what rock have you been sleeping under? And the second guy, well, let's introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, in the north of the map, in the color blue, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, it's Ayyubids. And in the south of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the English, it's Beastie. Now, of course, the year 2025 marks some significant developments across the world. Most notably, homeless people will be cut in half in 2025. You guys remember that meme? That was that's an oldie but a goodie. I think it was something along the lines of there was this advertisement going on in buses in the UK, and they said they were cutting homelessness in half by 50%. Not by, sorry, that doesn't make sense. Cutting homelessness in half by 2025. And then I think people just like kind of edited it to say cutting homeless people in half by 2025. Anyway, that's why we're here. Unfortunately, we lost half of the homeless people. Either we lost half the homeless people or they all just got cut in half and now we've just got the same amount. Maybe technically double. Anyway, welcome to a casted game. What a bit of a cursed start to start us off with. And you know what? Cursed casts are the best casts. Every single game that I cast that it's a cursed cast, it's a memorable cast. We've had a lot of cursed casts before. I think the one that comes to mind most often is the Talisman cast. That one will never go old in my mind. But let's talk a little bit about what we can expect today. So, from Beastie, so far, we haven't seen any men-at-arms on the opening. I'm curious to see whether he's going to be looking to open Abbey or whether he's going to go into Council. I would suspect, being up against the Delhi Sultanate, it makes sense for him to go into the Council Hall. He could open Abbey here, but Council Hall makes the most sense because he's going to want to be fighting in Feudal. He's going to be wanting to contest these sacred sites. He doesn't want to just let Ayyubids take control of these sacred sites. So it's going to be the Abbey of Kings. All right, we're 0 for 1 with Landmark. And then on this side, it's not Tower of Victory. It's got to be the Dome of the Faith, right? That's what we're going to see. Surely what we're going to see here is the Dome of the Faith. Don't worry, we can do it. We got it. All right, 1 for 2. I'm going to be counting my landmark, my landmarks. Hey, can I just say that's a really good point. From the balance perspective, if you can get the landmarks wrong for what the pros are going to go, then that's good, right? Because it means that we've got two viable landmarks. Though clearly, maybe the last 12 games of Beastie playing English have just been Abbey of Kings every single time, and I'm just completely out of the meta at the super duper top level when it comes to English H2. But look, no Council Hall today. Abbey of the Kings. The reason why I find this interesting though is going into the Abbey of the Kings. To me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, just because the natural opening for the Delhi Sultanate is to go into a stable and to go into Ghazi Raiders. And so naturally, you're going to have units that are faster that get bonus damage against your king. Now, of course, Beastie's got great micro. I would expect that he's going to be able to keep that king alive. And it sort of leads me to the next question. Are we going to see something a little bit interesting out of Beastie here? Do we potentially see horsemen that come out to try and get out on the map and get aggressive? You can obviously always switch into longbow a little bit later, but interestingly, we don't see that Rax that's come down just yet. 4 vills on gold as well. This is a lot of vills on gold, so I don't think he's going to be looking for a castle age here, though. I guess technically he could. He's got the mill up, so he's got to be thinking about going for upgrades here. I can't imagine this is going to be castle age, and even then, I mean, would you go 3? You could probably go 3 vills on the Abbey. Anyway, we'll check back in with him shortly because the age up's about to come through for Ayyubids. There it is, 4 minutes and 14 seconds. South side now for Beastie, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. It's the Abbey of Kings. The king is online, or at least coming on the. No way! don't you fucking dare! No! Stop it! Stop it! You're. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be in for an absolute treat of a game. I don't know if he's trolling. I don't know if he's having a goof, a gif, a gaff, a laugh. Okay, Beastie's going for professional scouts. Professional scout English. You heard it here first, folks. That's what we're witnessing now. He is opening up the stable. So we did I mean, kind of get the direction right a little bit here. Now, I'm kind of curious about this because, to me, you know, we've talked about this before. We want to go for openings that synergize with our civilization. We want to go for routes that synergize with our civilization. So, Beastie going for professional scouts means that he's going to be going away from farms. Now, is that a good thing? It could be, but English have got a lot of bonuses towards farms. First and foremost, your transition into farms is a lot easier because you've got cheaper farms, so it means that your investment to get in there, the time that it takes to pay them off, is a lot shorter than other civilizations. And secondly, their mills have got bonus harvest rates, so an extra 20% gather rate, which is quite decent. Now, granted, there are other upgrades that he could be looking at, so survival techniques. The other thing to note is that for your deer, they are gathering faster than your farms are, in just as a standard metric. So it does make sense for him to do that from that perspective. But for a civilization that just naturally synergizes, or no, I don't even want to say synergizes, but just naturally has bonuses towards those farms, it's very, very cool. But I can see a couple of reasons why this might make sense. Because I want to really delve into that and really try and understand the reason why he might be doing something. And the first reason why is because we do see so many civilizations rushing professional scouts at the moment. So he knows that the Delhi Sultanate is going to be going for professional scouts, and we see that that's actually the first technology clicked on the side in the feudal age for Yui metal. So he doesn't want to allow his enemy to just get free 4 packs of deer, because if he does that, then he's going to have a huge amount of food that he's going to be able to abuse. So what does Beastie do to respond to that? Beastie says, I'm going to go professional scouts myself, because I know I'm not going to be able to contest these hunts out here. I'm not going to be able to wall these in because you're going to have too many Ghazi raiders, and I'm not going to be able to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to deny those hunts away from you and allow myself to get them. I think that's what we're seeing. To me, that makes the most sense about how to explain this, because the problem is, if you allow that Delhi Sultanate player to take control, and we've seen this before where the enemy player will take control of the farms, or rather of the hunts, that it means that you've essentially just given them all of these resources. And against the English in particular, it can be very, very difficult to overcome that. So we do now start to see he's taken out the hunt on the front. That's going to be, he's taken out 4 so far, 3 more deer to go. Meanwhile, towards the west, he's taken 4 off that one, 3 more to go on that. Then he can potentially look to try and deny out his enemy hunts. Pretty neutral hunts for both of these players today, with Beastie probably slightly unfavored. The last time we did see on this map on Gorge, there was a hunt right here in the middle. It was right here next to the sacred site. It was a sad state of affairs for that player. But now, at 8 minutes into the game, we see the sacred site's about to be contested. One in the center, now going to start to be triggered. Second one, towards the top side, about to be triggered as well. We can see that Yui Metal makes it out here slowly but steadily. And now the third sacred site to the south. He actually has no scholars down here. I'm not sure exactly what the go here is. Maybe a little bit fearful of Beastie sniping out one of these scholars. And you can see he actually manages to come back through onto the sacred site. Beastie going to be able to force a little bit of downtime there. And now jumping onto the sacred site with a couple of spears here. Could be the difference in whether or not this side gets picked up by Yui Metal or not. More spears going to be rounding out from that northerly position. Down from the south, though, we see a couple more units looking to round it in that central location. The 2 scholars still manage to stay alive for the moment. The spears looking to try and reinforce this position, able to find decent connections, and Beastie 14 up against 22 military population. Oh man, I can't believe this. Even the English are going professional scouts, but you know, to me it just makes sense to really deny that food away from the enemy, right? Like, each hunt is 2,350, if I remember, 2,450? It's 350 times 7. So 300 times 7 is 2,100. 50 times 7, 350. So 2,450. So each hunt represents 2,500 food. So if you allow your opponent to take your hunts, you're giving them 5,000 food. And by you taking it for yourself, it's a swing of 10,000 food, because that 5,000 food is no longer going to them and is instead coming to you. So that's one of the ways to look at it. And if you look at it through that lens, it definitely makes so much more sense. But I think it's just somewhat, it's kind of silly to see these unexpected technologies, especially from pro-level players. We've seen the rise of professional scouts, and now I think it's definitely reached its peak. I can't imagine that it ever gets more prolific than what we currently see it at, where it's being researched in every single game. So to me, I'm trying to find like what was the key point that changed the way that players thought about this technology, and I can't help but feel like it's got to be that quality of life change, right? It's so much easier to just pick them up, set it, and forget it. They do it all for you. If you get interrupted, you drop it. You can always come back and just click, 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 and it's done. You don't even have to think about it and reroute. It just saves you so many APM in the long run, and it means that you've got an easier time in getting back on the horse if the deer falls off. But now, Beastie doing a good job of bouncing between these two sites in the south. We're yet to see walls come up from our Delhi Sultanate player. We'll ride on board with Metal and see how he does here. He's going to be looking to try and pick up more and more gold. He wants to be hitting Castle H. The numbers here are quite decent for him. 35 military pop, only a handful of archers in the queue. Third sacred site to the south. You can see that he spots every little movement from Beastie's army. A lot of spears in this mass. Not a whole lot of horsemen for the moment, but he is going to have to fall back away from it. Says, you know what, I don't want it. And especially considering his proximity to the Castle Age, you would probably want to avoid this fight. It's really not a huge importance here to be holding this sacred site. But we'll ride on board with Beastie, as it looks like he might be thinking about doing much of the same thing. His economy is definitely set up in a way where he can think about heading to that Castle Age. No farms through just yet. Maintaining flexibility. Plenty of vills underneath the town center, just pumping constantly. You can see he's picked up every single upgrade from the mill that's available to him. And the House of Learning will come through on the north side of the map for Metal. This is what we expected. We didn't really expect the compound of the defender. For Beastie, though, I'm going to say, do we expect the White Tower? Probably not. I would say you'd have to go with the King's Palace here. Surely you go for King's Palace. Like, White Tower to me, where do you put the White Tower on a map like this? It doesn't really make sense. Like, what, over here? Even over here, just doesn't make sense. You're not in the position to do it, especially with your enemy. So with the enemy about to age up, the King's Palace is just almost like a guarantee. Let's see if I can do it. Can I go 0 for 2 on English landmarks in this game? Outpost coming up in the center of the map. He could look to try and put pressure on. Just as the age up comes through, he knows that the Delhi Sultanate is going to be somewhat delayed with its upgrades. We'll take a look at how long it's actually going to take them. You can see this one's got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. It's about halfway, so 2 minutes and 20 seconds roughly for that tech. 2 sacred sites held for the moment. Outpost in the middle. Beautiful little outpost that he's got here. Might lose this villager. He's lost none yet. This will be the first one of the game as the Castle Age comes through. Beastie about to click up himself. Villager running for dear life. Oh, he might live. He doesn't. He goes down. 1 villager kill. Beastie about to click up. You can see he's got plenty of vills here on the gold. Chased away for the moment. No walls up yet, and Beastie does immediately put on the pressure. How long does it take for those Ghazi Raider upgrades? 3 minutes. It's a long time. Where are the scholars at? The scholars are in the Dome of the Faith, though I don't know where all the other scholars are. They might just be out chilling about, but you want to have them in the mosques as soon as you age up, so that you're able to get those extra fast upgrades through, and we can now start to see the owned blades on the way. Beastie looking to try and put on the hurt early on in this game. 13 minutes through as the age up comes through. The King's Palace goes down, and there's no real surprise there. We managed to nail that one. I mean, that one's like a 99% chance in this point in the game that it's going to be a King's Palace, right? You're not going to have a White Tower here. All right, so longbow numbers, decent, able to fire off and hit the enemy archers. Spear numbers continue to maintain, and I think our Delhi Sultanate player might be in a little bit of trouble. Did he jump too early? A lot of resources in the bank and not a lot of units on the field. I don't know what was going on, but there's only he's got 6 minute arms is not terrible here. The +2 range number is going to take some time to come through. Meanwhile, more raids back on the other side of the map. Still no more villages picked up. Only the 1 taken down so far. King's Palace now coming online. This English is just so silly. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And now working down that Dome of the Faith. A really important landmark here for the Delhi Sultanate. Allows them to get those cheaper scholars throughout the game. Upgrades almost through. Veterancy coming in now for the archers. Meanwhile, on the side of Beastie, we see veteran longbows coming through and +2 ranged attack. Only +1 ranged attack coming through now for Metal. But longbows at the back, in the pocket, unable to get those one-shots off just yet. Relics are getting picked up by Metal. So Beastie's going to start taking off on that Vil count. And the army here for Beastie not looking the best. Men-at-Arms have managed to overwhelm. On the side of Beastie, though, we start to see a transition. is beginning to move into men-at-arms himself. He's got one out at the moment. We hear the king go down over on the other side of the map, and the scout manages to get out. So both players in the end ended up claiming both of their respective hunts. We didn't see any sniping, or at least I didn't see any sniping. You know how it is. We saw both players secure their respective hunts entirely. All right, well, men-at-arms slowly attacking down the longbows. Expect to see Beastie begin to transition into crossbows here. He's got a very nice, comfy little position. We'll switch it over to income per minute. We're 15 minutes through this game. Let's get a bit of an idea on where these two currently stand against each other. Though we do see a lot of transitioning happening at the moment. Do we have farm? If we got farm transitions happening, it probably doesn't make sense. We did just see these villas. We'll give it a bit and then we'll double check the resource counts. Give it a minute or two. And while we do that, I think I might take a little bit of a swig here from my water bottle. Give me a second. Oh, man. It's good. It's good. It's water. Obviously, if it's in the water bottle, it's got to be water. I mean, maybe it doesn't. I'm sure you guys have got an uncle at Christmas who's got the he's got the water bottle, but it's not really water. It's cordial. He's got that's what we call. I don't know if cordial's like a proximity based word. That's what I called it when I was younger, but it was like the flavored mix that you'd put into water. My mum would love that. I think that was because growing up, you know, I wasn't from a particularly well-off family, and I think that was, you know, my mum could spend $2 on this thing, this sugary thing that she could put in the water, and it would just last an entire week. It was great, you know, and it kept the kids happy. It gave you the little bit of sugar that you needed, and that was it. You just kind of moved on with your day. But no cordial in here, mate. And I don't think Uncle's running any cordial either. I think he's probably got a bit of the stronger stuff. It's probably what's Uncle running? Well, bit of rocket fuel. That's what I used to call it when I was younger. There you go. That was rocket fuel was when you just mixed everything together. Alcoholic, of course. All right. Well, walls are beginning to come up across the northwest side of the map for Ayyubids. He's looking to try and prevent this sacred site from being taken. We do see the military numbers building here as well. Take a look at this. More than 20 military pop advantage at the moment for Ayyubids. Now, keep in mind, 13 of that is going to be your scholar. So it's an advantage, but it's not like a right home advantage, because those 13 scholars are typically going to be in your military production buildings. They're going to be sitting safely inside the Dome of the Faith. So now I think the big question is more about Imperial Age, because I think both of these players are pretty comfy at this stage. But it doesn't necessarily mean we go straight to Imperial, especially with elephants like this roaming across the map. 9 minutes into this game. Still, you have to consider that there could be a potential sacred play here. Beastie with the farms looking good, though. He's only on 24 farms, so probably not going to be making a tilt at Imperial Age just yet. Normally, you'll make an Imperial Age tilt and you will put down a whole bunch more farms. So at the moment, he's on 24. So you can see right here, 24. Normally, if you're going Imp, you'll put down another 8 to 16 farms. And that's simply because once you get to Imperial, you're going to be able to research enclosures. So in the meantime, you know, it helps build that food count up, but then we'll also trickle in that gold as well. So it's a really nice ability to transition into. But let's take a little bit of a look and see what these economies are currently sitting at. 1,400 for Beastie, 2,050. Another 700, so 2,750 for Beastie. On the side of Ayyubids, so 2,000, what was it, 2,750, 800, 1,100, oh geez, 1,800, and then 500, so 2,300-ish, 2,400-ish. So still pretty close on the economy. Beastie slightly ahead. Now remember, the longer this game goes, the better it gets for our Delhi Sultanate player, because he does hold 4 of the relics. There is still 1 relic on the side of Beastie. So that'll cancel out the relic count from 4 to 3 for his opponent, or at least the relic difference from 4 to 3. Beastie now beginning to move forward as well onto this forward-facing gold. He could look to... There's realistically nowhere else for him to go on this side of the map. He could try and challenge over here, but it just doesn't really make sense. I guess the natural direction to go is back towards this one, even though you want to avoid it. And we can see farms in the back now starting to come down. He could be thinking about that transition, or he could just be thinking about more units. But normally 24 is a pretty safe number to have in this early castle stage of the game. And now another build-up begins. Let's ride on board with Ayyubids as those upgrades make their way through. We can see hardy rations on the way. Very nice upgrade here. It's going to help out a lot with your wood gathering or your wood chopping. Means that your poor macro and your long distance is a little less affected by your lack of lumber camps. We now see a sheep cart. Wow. Okay. Very interesting sheep carcass. I don't know exactly what the go is here. I'm not going to click that one because it's unknown activation, but there you go. All right, to the south, Beastie's walled off. Infantry mass has built. Both players with a big focus on infantry here, but we do still see quite a few elephants coming out from Yui metal at this stage of the game. How does Beastie go about taking them out? We've remarked on them in a number of Delhi Sultanate games where the elephants have reigned supreme. Will they reign supreme today? We shall wait and see as Beastie makes his way across the middle of the map, looking to neutralize the sacred sites with 7 minutes on that timer. He's just walking over it for the moment. Vils are going to be brought up here. He wants to throw down an early aggressive outpost. I don't think we've gathered a single skerrick of stone just yet. So naturally that means no network of citadels. Just going to be the network of castles. And now Beastie neutralizing the sacred site in the center. Big infantry mass here. King goes down. Keep looking to come up for Yui metal. A lot of elephants here. Slowly damaging out that front line. He's going to lose the war elephant number 1. Couple more here. Got the archers on the tower elephant. Slowly working it down. Crossbow numbers looking good as well. Beastie picking off a couple of vills there and then realizing, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. This is not what we wanted. This is not good. Tower elephant with 9 ranged armor, by the way. 9 ranged armor. That is ludicrous. Jeez, these units are kind of crazy, aren't they? As long as you can kite with them, man, you're going to be okay. I guess with the exception of facing off against hand cannoneers. Longbowmen. Together with the crossbows, teeing off those elephants once again, coming and forcing back the enemy. You can see they've got huge range on them as well. 5 tiles of range. And they're no slouches when it comes to movement speed either. Like, they're relatively quick. 0.96. I mean, when you think about it, 0.96 versus 1.12. It's really not that far away. You get 1 or 2 volleys off and then that's it. All right, well, Beastie's put down a lot more farms. He's up to, what, 40 farms now? 38 farms. He's missing a couple here. So expect for him to look towards Imperial Age. Though, to be fair, that fight that he just had was not a good fight. And so naturally for him, the thought is going to be, if I go Imp now, I will die because my enemy is going to make a lot of units and then he'll run over the top of me and kill me. However, on the other side, this is an opportunity for him to say, okay, well, I've got a little bit of space here. I can do what I like. I can go Imp. I could look to double down and try and kill Beastie here. So that's always something that Beastie's going to be aware of. But I guess Beastie can always look to go Imperial and mitigate some of that potential threat by going into the Berkshire, though. I don't know if you really want to go for a Berkshire on a map like this. I mean, it's definitely good against the Delhi Sultanate with their desires to take the sacred sites. But I don't know if you're going to be getting a lot of value out of it, right? Like, if there was a large gold vein here, I'd definitely be willing to put a Berkshire right next to it, because it means I secure that large gold vein. But there's nothing really to take. Like, Beastie's only available gold is towards the back of the map. All the other golds are relatively safe here for Yui metal as well. Like, with the exception of this one, that's about it. Other than that, the starting gold is kind of the most exposed one. There's really not much. I mean, you've got double stone on the edges that are kind of a bit exposed here, but nothing to really write home about. You can see now that the resources do occasionally get up pretty high where you start thinking maybe he goes Imp here, but it's not going to be the case. His economy looking good. Let's have another quick look. 2100, 2600, 3500, and about 800. So we're looking at plenty, or more than 4k resources a minute, and compared to his opponent who's sitting on a very cool, clean 3k flat. But Beastie's economy is definitely starting to build up quite a bit of a lead here, and that is that English bonus coming back. Now, keep in mind, while that might be the raw economy that we're looking at, the Delhi Sultanate has got bonuses, economic bonuses, elsewhere that you just don't see. So most commonly, or most often referenced, is the fact that they get free upgrades. So you think about the upgrades that you're going to be getting. As an example, Tyke Barns, right? Beastie's probably not going to get it in this game. He's only got 1 relic. Who knows? Maybe he gets it. 500 gold. That's a lot of resources. Meanwhile, on the side of the Delhi Sultanate, they pay nothing. So that's resources in that regard that they are getting. We do now start to see a keep coming forward here for Beastie. Beastie's max 200 out of 200. And instead of just chilling out and playing defensive, looking for Imp, he's going to go forward at 200 max pop. A lot of vills being brought here. 18 vills. And with this, there is the chance that he goes for an aggressive Berkshire after he gets the keep up. So normally the idea would be, I want to go outpost, then keep, and then Berkshire. And you want to kind of leap forward. And we talked about the fact he could try and deny this gold away from his enemy. Definitely a possibility here. especially when you've got this many resources in the bank here. He's timed this well. Units are going to be moving. We'll ride on board his opponent and see what the approach is going to be. At the moment, he's going to be fighting uphill. He's got no idea what's happening, but you can kind of suspect something is going on. It looks very suspicious looking through the fog here. I wonder what could possibly be playing. Oh, it's a keep. Oh, there it is. It was a keep all along. It was hiding. Beastie now with the resources to click up. Could be dangerous putting it on the front line here, but a lot of units. He spots the mangonels at the back as well, and that's going to be instrumental in his decision-making process. Do I go for it, or do I allow it? You can see immediately clicks the network of castles button. Keep's going to buy him a little bit of space. Mangonels starting to work down this keep. He could go for a Berkshire in the back, but you kind of waste it if you do that. You secure up the stone. I guess that's one thing. He's going to go Berkshire in the front. Oh, jeez. He's getting cheeky. He is getting very confident here. And I think it's kind of funny how this is the starting gold, and yet it's one of the most exposed resources on this map. Beastie now with a huge army as the Berkshire gets placed. Oh, you hate to see it, but at the same time, you love to see it. You really do. You really do. And now, his opponent obviously well and truly aware that Beastie is going Imperial Age with the Berkshire in his face. Beastie's Berkshire is a blessing upon all Britons, but not upon the Delhis. That is for sure. The Reuben sandwiches are not enjoying this right now. Age up about to come through, overlooking the Delhi Sultanate base. Beautiful. A beautiful landmark. So not going to be opting for the Wingard here. Of course, the Wingard gives him a little bit more flexibility into moving into Cav or getting those trebuchets out, or even a little bit more utility in moving into something like the Wingard Footman. But doesn't go into it. Palace of the Sultan now coming online for Yui Metal. Beastie immediately clicks all the upgrades as he reaches the Imperial Age. Enclosures, elite men-at-arms, elite crossbows, elite spears. We don't see elite longbows just yet, but the focus is obviously going to be on these units. The question for me... Okay, he's doing it. How much siege do we see coming out of him? And at the moment, it's double bombard, which do very effectively against elephants. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see a couple more of these bombards coming out. He's now going to look to focus down the mangonels as well. I don't know if it really makes sense for him to move into mangoes himself, but there is a fair bit of infantry back here. And now working his way around that top side, the Delhi defense is slowly coming online. You can see all of those upgrades being clicked. The relics picked up. 2 more inside the landmark. Beastie with the elite upgrades. 27 minutes into this game. Looking to try and take out the enemy landmarks. The first one has been destroyed. Scholars being evacuated. Just doing a little bit of healing for the moment. Keep in mind, there are plenty of upgrades on the way for the Delhi Sultanate. It's going to take time for them to come online. And you can see he's just running these scholars out of here. Get them out of here, boys. The evacuation is now coming through. And the defense of the Delhi, as Beastie looks to try and clinch this game with a beautiful Berkshire setup into a couple of bombards. Mango's in the back. Adjustable crossbars is on the way through. It's going to take some time. It's going to take 14 minutes. I tell you what, I don't know if we got 14 minutes. 42 minutes into the game is when adjustable crossbars is currently due for schedule. It's actually just been cancelled. He's realized, you know what? It's a little bit far out. Town Center's going to be coming down now. Where's that last landmark, by the way? It's over towards the west. He's still got time. The Palace of the Sultan. Big defense right now. To think that we've gone from professional scout English to this. The bombards with so much tempo. Another keep looking to be getting put down here as well. Keep in mind, he managed to secure a lot of resources over here when he did this. Mainly stone. He's also got stone back on his own side that he's taking at the moment. Now that keep coming online, he should be able to snipe away a relic or two. Definitely will reconsider the tithe bugs. And for the moment, just cleans out our Delhi Sultanate player. Meanwhile, the elephants make their way around the top side. 92 vills here versus 120. Military advantage is in favor of our Delhi Sultanate player. If he wants to push into this, he's going to have to push into a Berkshire. He's going to have to push into 2 separate keeps. Beastie really putting his opponent in check at this stage of the game. House of Learning with no tech left in it. He'll be fine to lose this one. As long as he keeps the last landmark, he'll be A-okay. And now, more and more units to the front. You can see Beastie with this infantry mass slowly working it down. And Yui Metal just can't find the time to pick a fight. The reason why he's delayed right now is because he knows he needs elite upgrades. But he's just losing so much infrastructure. The timing here from Beastie has been absolutely immaculate. Meanwhile, behind this, he does nothing. He just chills. He's gathering up resources every second the game goes on. The longer it goes, the better it goes, because all of these resources are just going into his stockpile. He's going to be able to replace all of these units, crossbows, and men-at-arms. And now more relics going to be exposed here. This now takes Yui Metal down to 0 relics. On the front line, Beastie yet to put a monastery down. Little bombard on bombard action. Ville's going to be brought to repair. Beastie falls back away from the front. Elite Army Tactics going to be the first university upgrade for him. Second bombard out, and it looks like Yui Metal's decided now is the time to move it. Men-at-arms and spears on that gold vein in the north. Beastie on the defense. Cannon emplacement is through. And back he falls. You can feel how tense it is right now. A lot of lesser players would have given up in this position, but Yui Metal fights it out. He says, no, I think I've got a way through. I think I can see victory. But Beastie says, I can see victory as well, and it's called bombards, baby. He's got 4 out at the moment, another 1 in the queue. Still that raid towards the top side. 18 Vills taken down so far. Down to 84 Vills now. Elephant number 1 and 2 goes down. Beastie brings up some Vills to help repair out these bombards. CG Cutie slowly assembling. Another outpost on the front line. If you want him, you're going to have to come fight underneath this Berkshire. And he continues to push back the enemy. Gosh, what a methodical push coming out from Beastie right now. The perfect amount of infantry. Another keep going to come down. This guy is absolutely keeping up with the Kardashians right now. Well and truly. He knows exactly what Kim is up to. There are so many keeps in this base. Bombard number rising for both of them. Mangonel now coming out. He does actually have adjustable crossbars. It could be the difference in this fight. Elephant numbers have risen to the point where Beastie could be in trouble. He's got, look at it, yeah, Beastie knows he's in trouble. He's got a whole bunch of hand cannoneers ready to go. He says, hold on, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with all of these elephants. Look at the elephant numbers as they round the corner. He's at 197 population, and now Beastie going to try and hold this position. Forced march is in play for our Delhi Sultanate player. On the defense, the crossbow numbers looking solid for Beastie. Vills now. He's still yet to pick up these relics. There's plenty of them still sitting on the ground. And now Beastie, oh! The bombard's massively out of position. The elephants move up into point-blank range. Mangonel's firing on them. The hand cannon is nowhere to be seen. He's got them all queued up, but unfortunately not yet on the ground. And now these elephants looking to try and snipe out all of the siege here. Doing a decent job of making their way forward. More bombards coming through for Yui Metal. He takes out another one of the bombards. Still, the last landmark stands tall for Yui Metal and keeps him in this game. No sniper-rooney happening just yet. Walla attempt on that top side, just trying to distract Beastie doing his classic. And at the moment, you can see a huge population difference between these two. This is part of the reason why you're going to be so careful up against the Delhi Sultanate. Look at the military difference between these two guys. 114 pop versus 26, 27, 30, 36, 39. It changes. It's changing all the time, but he manages to take out a lot of these expensive bombards. You can see, look at how incredible these elephants are. Despite the strength of the bombard, despite the bonuses they get against elephants, the elephants don't care. And they chase down the bombards now. Beastie begins to move into Spearman hand cannoneer. We'll expect to see some upgrades on the way from him. We'll ride on board and see. We've got the university in the back of the base. Chemistry not yet researched for him. Serpentine powder still going to be up for grabs as well. And now another keep getting thrown down. This time it's going to be on the side of the Delhi Sultanate. Loses out on an elephant here. He's got to be careful not to overextend. A lot of spears and hand cannoneers coming up the rears. Berkshire Palace taken out. Keep next in line. Have a look at this. 4 bombards. You've angered the Delhi main, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Yui Metal's he's getting a little upset. You've taken out my base. And now I must take out yours. It's only fair. It's only fair. So how do you react against all these hand cannoneers and spears? I feel like you've got to go men-at-arm, elephant, men-at-arm, sorry. Oh my lord, dude. Men-at-arm, elephant, mangonel. There we go. It was hard for me to get out. I got it out in the end, but speaking of getting out, have a look at this beastie getting out of trouble for the moment as the keep does manage to go down. Gets it down just in time. But now the push is really coming to shove. Have a look at this. 2-1 on that military count now as the Delhi Sultanate rolls down the middle. Beastie in trouble. You know, it's kind of funny. Beastie, I remember when I met Beastie in person, he said, Drongo, the only problem I've got with you is you always cast Beastie losses. And I just can't help it. They just turn out to be really good games. And it looks like we might have another one going the way against Beastie. Sorry, B, I don't know how it keeps happening. Mangonel's teeing off on the back. Beastie in trouble once again. You can feel the tempo currently in favor of Ayyubids and just how easy it is for him to roll down this center. Beastie trying to delay with keeps, but you just know it's going to be rolled over so damn quickly. There's too much siege here. The one thing I'm fearing right now is that the Delhi Sultanate doesn't have enough units. He needs more units. He needs to come out here, just spam out those men-at-arms, get them out on the field, Ghazi Raiders, whatever it is. You need that front line. You need to be having something to sit in the front. And he's got 1,400 resources in the bank right now, and there is no units in queue other than that one Sultan's elite tower elephant. And that's painful because he's got all of these Raxes right here. If we click F4 on him, F3, F2, F1, F1. He's got 10 archery ranges, 8 stables, and 6 Raxes. Like, let's just get some men-at-arms out. Let's get some Ghazi Raiders going. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. He's gone for some crossbows. I don't know if crossbows... Yeah, I guess crossbows kind of make sense here, but your enemy's going spear, hand cannoneer. But maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, it just makes sense no matter what. But there's been a huge swing in this game. I tell you what, that was a crazy swing. Landmarks have started to come back up here. Relics are being recovered. He's got 3 in the bag, 1 in the hand. Obviously, on the way back now. And we hear those cannons, or those bombards firing off once again. Towards that top side, another keep gets thrown down. Beastie doing a great job to secure up plenty of stone this game. And now the elephant's pushing forward. A lot of spears and hand cannoneers on the defense for Beastie. Ayyubids maxed out 200 out of 200. Beastie trying to climb, and you can see 182. He's fallen fast. So many units here for Ayyubids. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. The hand cannoneers, they're having trouble right now. The mangoes are keeping them down. The bombard's able to take out enemy bombards. The sniper's not able to get through on time for those mangoes. And Ayyubids is showing it how it is done in this game. It is unbelievable what we are witnessing. The way that Beastie was able to push him all this way to the end of the line, and still he found a way back in. He just got the elephant numbers up, and now overextending a little bit. Needs to be careful. He's not paying attention. Get back to the keyboard, Ayyubids. Get back to the keyboard, Ayyubids. Don't lose these elephants, my friend. It's a nice little pocket that Beastie's got in there, and you want to avoid getting too close. Mangoes firing off. Bill's in trouble. You can see how much damage they were doing those mangoes as they fired down upon. Cannon's doing a decent job here. Another fire, or another shot from those mangoes. One more should do it for him. Still not enough mango numbers, and look at this, the elephant numbers have fallen. Longbows coming through. They've got their extra damage coming in from incendiary arrows as well. Keep in mind a lot of ranged armor on these 14 ranged armor on the tower elephant. Longbows only do 14 damage. So they're tickling the elephants at the moment. The spear's a little bit different, not quite tickling. Good defense from Beastie. Impressive defense with the repairs. I don't know where all those vills went, but they were heroes. A lot of them getting down to a very low amount of health. One shot from being taken out. But now, the turn. 39 minutes into the game, and Beastie says, Drongo, it's not over just yet, my friend. You cast a lot of losses, but this one's going to be different. Beastie commits. He thinks he can win right here. 170, 180. Population up against 150 now. How the tables have turned. Now we get to the stage of the game where gold has pretty much run out. There's only a few mines around the map. Well, I take it back. There's only a single mine remaining on the map. And trade becomes a really important factor in this game. We can see plenty of vills here for Beastie in all corners of the map, gathering up food and gold and wood. But a distinct lack of traders yet. Do we see our first markets coming up shortly? Perhaps. He's definitely got a lack of gold in the bank. It would make sense for him to move into it right now. I'm sure he's happy with spears. He's happy with longbows. Definitely going to be working the magic, but he's going to need to pay for his bombards somehow. Bombard's going to be the key ingredient in all of this. Upgrades on the way. Oh, have a look at this. Lightweight beams. Oh, immediately I see lightweight beams and I check the minimap. I'm like, where is it? Where? Okay, I thought this was it. I'm like, the siege workshops are going down somewhere. Beastie doesn't just research lightweight beams like he's playing the Delhi Sultanate, you know, just clicking everything. There's a reason he is thinking about this. We also see greased axles coming in. Expect to see some sort of battering ram. Yep, there it is. Okay. He is trying to snipe out the landmarks. I think Beastie realizes he's in trouble here. He knows that on the side of the Delhi Sultanate, there's a lot of free gold that's trickling in. He's got the 4 relics. He's got the sacred sites. He's got... What else does he have? Come on, Drogo. Put it together. He's also got the Palace of the Sultan, giving free gold. Compared to Beastie, he's only got the gold being generated from the farms, which is not as strong as it once used to be. And now, moving forward, Mangonel's trying to hit those back lines. You can see the longbows with 8.5 tiles of range. The Mango's having a bit of trouble to hit them. Needs to come up and actually meet the enemy men-at-arms. Beautiful shots from those Mangos, though. They do a decent job here. And now those elephants combining with the back line of siege to begin the rampage. Battering ram numbers are building, though. Beastie up to 4 battering rams. Just looking to bring a couple through, and he's going back to the Dark Age combo. Spears, longbows, battering rams, trying to work out anything that can possibly find a way through this damn Delhi defense. And now sniping. Look at the number he's got. All the Mangos have been taken out. He's got another one somewhere on this map, but he can't find its way through just yet. It's a little bit slow coming up the rear. Siege numbers still holding high. Elephant numbers also strong. Ghazi Raiders being flown in right now from the Delhi main base. You can see just how many is rallying across the map, trying to get to that front line, trying to put up a fight. Bombards looking to get in position to try and work down this front line of English defense. Ladies and gentlemen, we open up 2025 with an absolute banger of a game, but we're only 40 minutes through this one. I'm sure we got plenty more where that came from. Battering rams are making their way towards his backside. This is always really difficult. There's another Vil. I'm looking towards the edges. Beastie's trying to open up multiple fronts. He's already got the second one opened up. Now, keep in mind, this is 1 or 2 population from the battering rams. How many units is he actually using to fight these battering rams? 11 units. That's a lot of units to designate as battering ram clearers. I'd hope to see from our Delhi Sultanate player battering rams coming out to try and, you know, do the same thing. You want to bring out counter rams, and look at this. Plenty of production now coming out for Beastie. He's got 2k food in the bank. Not a huge amount when you've got 3,500 food a minute coming in. 172 pop for our Delhi Sultanate player. Wasn't really able to find a way through. We're right on board now with Beastie. And see how... Oop, there we go. We fixed it up. And see how he goes in this defense. He's really looking to just play this standard feudal age army, just in the imperial age. Plenty of farms. How many farms are we sitting on at the moment? 64 farms. A decent amount of farms. Not a whole lot of walls on this map, so quite exposed to things like Ghazi Raiders coming in on the backside. We haven't really seen much of that. It's been mainly a man fight for the majority of this game. You guys know the man fight. Mono-y-mono. 2 men fighting down the center. Just trading punch for punch. No blocks, no ducks, no dives, no weaves. Just punching. It's probably... Man fight's probably not the word for it. It's probably more of like a drunken fight. Or heavyweight fight. The one I'm thinking of is that one... The one... I remember he was a Japanese gentleman. Unfortunately, I think he suffered some severe health consequences as a result of that fight. But right now, they're going to need to really do their best to lift here. Beastie in particular, as he's on the defense. Look at the elephant numbers here. Look at the army value difference between... You can't... This is not right. No. 21k versus 5k. It can't be right. It's got to be... It's bugged. It's 100% bugged. Don't be looking at this. He doesn't have 4x the value, but he's got to pull scholars right now. Men-at-arms, Beastie in trouble. Have a look at this. A huge amount of elephants moving forward. I think this is it. I think this is game. Look at this. He's got a 2-to-1 military advantage right now. Plenty of scholars on the front line looking to heal up. He's got 21 scholars out. Men-at-arms continue rallying in. Hand cannoneers starting to be mixed in. Bombards, a single mango, stands strong as he continues to put the pressure on. What an absolute banger we are getting. 3 battering rams on the back, 3 battering rams around the side, 1 longbowman to the east. Beastie trying to find a way back through. Bombards racing down the English landmarks. He's got one. He's got all 3 landmarks right here. He can do it right here, right now. And now, the elephants together with the cannons. Focus down the second landmark. 3rd one coming right up. This is it. This is it. He can't win. There's no way. The Palace of the Sultan still stands. All he has to do is commit the bombards to the landmarks. And that's it. Beastie loses. 3rd landmark's down. 4th landmark right here, right now. 7,000 health. You can see that he's got no court architect's upgrade. It means no extra health on these buildings. Bombards are going to fire off. He's going to bring vills around the side looking to try and siege down these bombards. Beastie with a 60 vill advantage at the moment. He can definitely afford to lose a couple of vills. More vills now going to be brought forward. Needs to repair these bombards instead of putting this keep down. Needs to repair the bombards. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. Okay, all right, we're back. Elephants and bombards, Yui metal. Focus, Yui. Focus. He's lost his tempo. He's lost his tempo. If he right-clicks the town center, he just won the game. But he's been forced back away from it. Beastie, somehow with the longbow numbers and the villager distraction, makes his way through and overwhelms that front line. Keep comes online, but the cannons are already out for Beastie. Should be able to clear it without too much of a problem. Vills now going down, 72 vills on the side of Yui metal. And where did all of the units go for Yui metal? Beastie somehow manages to find a way back in with plenty of longbows. More and more upgrades coming in from Yui. He obviously forgot to get them through. Actually, I take it back. These are just your standard upgrades. They just take a little bit longer because you're playing the Delhi Sultanate. But now the keep going to be focused down. And at this stage of the game, the keep is kind of meaningless. It's just going to delay you, if anything, 20 to 30 seconds. And does Yui potentially find an opportunity to look to hit the back line here? If he zones in on this town center, I don't think he wins this. I think he loses this because he's not going to be able to get it. There's too many units in here, too many vills to pull and repair. Now cannons fighting against each other. Beastie still repairing. An absolute insane game that we are witnessing right now. More cannons coming out from Beastie, looking to reinforce from the west side. We see a few more units. Battering rams starting to take down landmarks. Court Architects has now come through for Yui metal. He's got that extra little bit of armor. And I tell you what, we are starting off this year with a bang, aren't we? What a game we are witnessing. This is, you know, can I make a pitch to you guys? I'm gonna bring you the best casted games for 2025. We're gonna hunt the ranked ladder and we will find the best games with the best players. I don't know how we're ever gonna beat this one because this one is, I've called this game multiple times already. For both players. For both players. Remember when Beastie was up here with the Berkshire? Like, a single decision from our Delhi player to leave this Palace of the Sultan and put it to the back has left him alive. Meanwhile, on the south side, we saw Yui metal push our English player to the very edge, and somehow he didn't see that win con. I think he had it. I think there was no way he wasn't going to win that. If he just focuses the town center with the bombards, brings the elephant in, right-clicks the town center, and brings his own vills to repair his bombards, I think he just wins. I don't think there's any two ways he doesn't win that. But now we head back to the drawing board because Yui metal is at 135 population. Beastie's at 200. Beastie's got almost double the eco of his opponent. And a single longbow stands in that did he use the extra speed? He used the arrow. He used the arrow volley on the single raiding longbow in the back line. Beastie, bro, get a job, dude. You can't. No. At 48 minutes, you can't be microing your elite longbowman. Oh, this guy, he cracks me up. He is so funny to watch. He is such a great player. All right. Well, Men-at-Arms going to try and contest their own little spot on the backside, but unfortunately, the English army is there to greet them. It might be slow, it might be cumbersome, but I tell you what, they'll be easily able to deal with those Men-at-Arms. And now, Sacred Sites still remain uncontested for the moment, as all three have been neutralized out. Nobody gets the gold for the moment. Scores even. 1240 against 1200. Or sorry, 12,000. 12,000 against 12,456. A good number. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Just missing the 3. And more units running around here. Beastie just doing his best to distract, and you can see, yeah, look at the siege. He's building up the siege. He's on 4 bombards at the moment. a lot of battering rams, and this big feudal age composition into the late game. I can't believe how well this game has developed. Honestly, this is impressive. The fact that we got English professional scouts, and now we've got this. This is kind of wild. Everybody's gone professional scouts. And I mean, there's a reason. And I just want to compliment Ayyubids for this game. I think from this position, it's going to be very hard for him to win just because of the villager difference. But he's done incredibly well. The patience that he showed throughout this earlier battle, the fact that he lost almost his entire base and decided not to fight until he knew he would take a winning fight, is very impressive. Because I know for sure I would have been like, the moment I lost my first racks on the front line, I'd be like, all right, let's go, guys. Time to lose. Meanwhile, Yui's like, we can't fight it, guys. We can't fight it. Very smart decision there from Yui. Now the push from Beastie. 50 minutes into the game. It could be the final one. Only 150 population. You can see he's got a whole bunch of food in the bank right now, Yui does. But almost no wood, almost no gold. It is barely getting there. He's got units in production, but he is really struggling to keep that head above water. Units now going to make their way towards the front for one last hurrah. And Beastie looks to secure up sacred sites. Might just look to try and play it safe from here. Could look to try and cap the sacred sites himself and just starve out the enemy. But keep in mind, he's got plenty of resources in the bank now. He's looking quite good here. Not only is he maxed 200 pop, but all those extra resources in the bank guarantee he'll be maxed for quite a while. He just needs to queue up some extra units. But you can see he's intentionally leaving this open so he gets more bombards out. The more bombards he's got, the more units he's got to deal with these elephants, because that's the big threat in the late game. So the bombards get that bonus damage against elephants. They're able to more effectively take them out. And you can see him looking to focus down that Sultan's Tower elephant right there. First one goes down. Second one gets taken out. Third one going to get focused as well. It's so difficult with these bombards to keep this elephant mass standing for long. And now looking to continue kiting backwards. Beastie wants to try and keep the cannons alive. He knows how important they are, how valuable they are, and he's going to kite back into those reinforcements. He's down to 189 at the moment. The last bombards have come out. Now spears are going to be the reinforcements that he brings. Needs to throw a couple more units in queue. It's going to be hand cannoneers that he looks to bring onto the field. But you can see the defense is good from the English. Ladies and gentlemen, how does the Delhi possibly pull it back from here? It's going to require a miracle for him to overcome this English siege infantry composition. It is such a difficult mountain to climb. We're right on board with Ayyubids as he looks to try and regain control. We can see he's got some trade up in this east corner. I can't help but feel it's a little bit late. I would have loved to have seen this 10 minutes ago. After that, after that push kind of petered out, it would have made a bit more sense. But now look at the bombards as they focus down that elephant backline. The elephants can't even contest. The longbows move forward. Hand cannoneers just going to be thrown in here as well to help get through those men-at-arms. Archers, together with the Ghazi Raiders, it's the remnants of the forces of the Delhi Sultanate. But the bombards stand strong. The yellow bombards stand tall. And they run away. The elephants just keep coming back, man. He just brings them back. Has he? Yeah, he's picked up the upgrades. I think, yeah, he's got... Oh, does he actually not have chemistry? No, he's got chemistry. GG. All right, there it is. Here's me trying to work out whether he's got chemistry or not. And meanwhile, these guys are typing G's to each other. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game. Our first game of 2025. It's an absolute banger. That goes straight to the history books. That is the best game of 2025 by far. Anyway, I'll leave it there. And of course, links are in the description. Make sure you go check them out. Thank you so much for watching. What a game.